О, лайка! Это было very good? О, да. Бонусный эпизод, чат. Бонусный эпизод. Порция лука или лука. Наверное, лука все-таки. Поехали.
Who's the best space dog? Oh, где моя хорошая, хорошенькая моя. Ты просто космическая. Hey? Who's the best hairy cosmonaut? It is indeed a lovely sunset. And it reminds me of the skies of Peru. I didn't? I never told you about the wonderful Sky City? Well, it was an extraordinary place, but one filled with dangers. Well, it might have been simple for you to cross it, but you were in a space capsule. I had to rely on my own 2 feet, my noshki. Feet which, I might add, had just crossed the interior, beaten the villain Toll, and helped inspire the Myank to a workers' revolution. Oh, that's all very easy for you to say, but your idea of civilized behavior is licking your own bottom in public. No. My adventures above the clouds were filled with untold dangers, death-defying escapes, and some really quite extraordinarily large bielorybitsa. And it happened like this.
Какая кайфовая. Очень милая игра. Сейчас танцуй! Е! На самом деле жалко мужика на Иване. Почему? Ну скажешь, сказочник он, что сделаешь? И притом он не пьет, а? И такое сочиняет.
Weeks had passed since I left Plutonia, and one evening, exhausted, I simply fell asleep at the foot of a strange windmill. And when I awoke, well, that thought didn't cross my mind. I was exhausted after all. This is besides the point, my nosy canine friend. What matters is this. When I awoke, the windmill and the ground around it had been carried high into the air. What magic was this? Что за магия?
Что за магия?
As unlikely, perhaps, as a suitcase-sized dog orbiting the center of the Earth for many years. Quite.
Душевнобольные не такое сочинение. Почему душевнобольные сразу? У него просто хорошая фантазия, чел. Что-то детальки такие все большие, а мы такие маленькие. Маленькие-маленькие. Как? Объясните.
Как молния, my training leapt into play, and I began to paddle the strange contraption through the clouds in search of answers. It is entirely possible that a miller who owns a windmill capable of levitating high into the air may also own a flying machine. Oh, now you're just being silly. May I continue my recounting of how I sailed over the sky gardens towards the mystical city of Peru? I must, my мой ушатый друг.
Ты меня называла. 5 секундочек, наверное. 12 сентября будет год, как я на канале. Ей-я. Боже. Бывает. Что поделать? Жизнь такая. Эх. Уи. Ей, мы летим! Уи! Уи! Яху! Это он предупреждал, ну тогда. Мы реально летим, лол.
What powerful emanations! What mighty gusts! What an epic squall! They remind me
Эпик шквал!
Cousin Pavel, yes! But whereas his rearward zephyrs could curdle milk and tarnish the teaspoons, these magical wafts only serve to carry me aloft and onwards.
Случайно подписался 26 апреля. Почему случайно? Ты не хотел подписываться? Я тебе не нравилась, значит? Ах, вот значит не нравится, да? Вот не нравится. Понятно, понятно. Что мы делаем? Э? Э? А может вот так надо оставить, типа? Я понимаю, чат, помогите. Ох уж этот стример вообще не успел прийти, уже душит. Никого не душу. Что-то помогаете, я не поняла шутки. Что надо сделать? А, мы, наверное, включили... Я понял.
But something was afoot in the gardens of Perun. This horrid muck staining the surfaces and making my nose curl. Yes, it was positively Pavelian in scent. But it did not belong here. I think I once told you of Auntie Masha's passionate encounter in a cable car with the manganese entrepreneur from Chatura. Now, Auntie Masha told me that there was a disagreeable stain and smell all around those factories and smelting works. Our industry is not without its dangers. Could it be that the once bucolic gardens of Perun were being corrupted by unchecked pollution? After all, science is a double-edged sword, my bristly confidant. Consider Demikhov. Of course. I apologize. Прошу прощения. Two-headed dogs is perhaps a rather insensitive analogy, but not without justification in this instance. I have seen the blemished lands around Norilsk, but I could not believe that I would find such pollution here. But this was nothing to the true horror of what was shortly to unfold.
Это образовательная игра по изучению английского. Именно так, молодец. Выучили, прошу прощения, да? Уи! Ля, сколько мельниц. Это что? Манштадт, что ли? Здоров, Фокс. У нас что-то не получилось, я так полагаю. А почему?
That terrible, страшная машина spewing its poison into the air had created a monstrous thing. A being. A malignant spoiler of the noble and pure. And it had taken on the form of its prey. Well, of course. Ну, конечно, I was the prey. The citizens of Perun had clearly long since fled the evilly sentient smog, but I inadvertently wandered into its lair. Oh, I know. Misfortune seemed to dog... Oh, sorry, I do apologize. To follow my every footstep. But no time to ponder, no time to bemoan the hand that fate had dealt me. No, all that was on my mind was escape, конечно.
Эскип, конечно. Бля, это гениально. Это просто гениально. Да не
Yes, it was
гавкайте.
most interesting. The windmill seemed to be from an earlier age. Perhaps this was a devastating warning of the destructive power of unfettered industrialization. I most certainly had not forgotten about the windmills. I did not get carried away. You are missing the point. Perhaps because you are only a small dog. Oh, a brilliant, brave, spacefaring dog, of course, but a small собачка nonetheless.
Ну, собачка.
Nevertheless, I am just getting to the explanation of the windmills.
Смол собачка. Уху! Смол собачка. Звезда на шпиле, кек. Уи! Иху! Все.
My stinking nemesis was back. But more interesting was the change in the city.
Ой.
When
Я заруинила опять. Я опять заруинила.
my stinking nemesis was back. But more interesting was the change in the city. The windmills were fading out, clearly obsoleted, mothballed, relics. Instead, a sense of an obsession with power was apparent. Vast engines, terrible machines, ever hungry and reliant on the rapid consumption of fuel, the production of toxic fumes and choking gases. Pride, my pushisty compadre, pride,
Pushisty
ambition,
compadre.
ambition, the dark side of science. Zemechov's had too many. Don't be
Пушистый
ridiculous,
комраде.
only a durak with the intellectual capacity of a ringworm would think windmills are in any way harmful.
Он ли дурак? Не могу. Когда за тобой бежит монстр, не нужно прыгать в жижу. Да, не прыгайте, чат, не надо. Подождите, пока она перетечет, и потом бегите. Он ли дурак? Побежит в жижу, когда за ним бежит монстр, понимаете? Музыка как в Аладдине только что было. Какая-то же есть советский Аладдин. А, простите, пожалуйста. Извините, не признала. Конечно, понимаю, что их консультировали, но все-таки они идеально все сделали в плане озвучки, как по мне. Озвучка реально очень прикольная, я не знаю. Игра такая, ну, типа, ну, игра... игра... простая. Ну, типа, тут нету ничего прям примечательного. Игру, именно эту игру делает чисто озвучка. Ах ты ж... А я успею домотать, лол? Уи! Бэбэ, лол! Ручками так ты, как пингвинчик. Лол.
Of course, you never had much of a chance to travel. Sarcasm doesn't suit you. You don't have the tail for it. You do, at least, have a tail. Mind you, family gossip maintains that so did Uncle Rabliem. Although it was apparently little more than a stub, and a source of considerable discomfort and social anxiety for him. The question of whether or not Uncle Rabliem wagged his stub is very much off topic. What I am trying to say is that your upbringing on the streets of Moscow meant you never saw the blackened fields of Magnitogorsk. The sacrifices made by the valiant citizens of that industrial heartland, as they drowned in their own blight, even as they powered the state forwards. I was reminded of Magnitogorsk as I wandered through those fields of pipes and foundries. And I wept for the loss of innocence that so often goes hand in hand with progress.
Миниатюрка Ира улетает от хейтеров. О. Сейчас опять чел появится, да? Нет? Странно. Они даже эхо сделали. Вы слышали только что эхо? Прикольно. Капец. А, у нас нога болеет, да? Каёв. Чел, давай. Поправляйся быстрее, надо бежать.
Indeed! I just evaded the slimy, oily grasp of that man-made Vadzinoi, his petroleum stink clogging my nostrils and making my head thump. And I felt a great stirring within me. Yes, much like I assume Cousin Pavel. May he never get loose again. But no, quite different. This was no volcanic upbubbling of gastric malintent. No, it was the roaring fires of justice once more ignited within me. I felt a swell of patriotic fervor and knew the hand of destiny had fallen on me once more. Yes, what a hand it was! I could not see this great wonder sink into an abyss of poison and bile. The Perunians may have been forced to abandon their city, but I had saved the world once before and was ready to answer the call again.
Я надеюсь, что будет продолжение этой игры. Пожалуйста, сделайте продолжение этой замечательной игры, лол. Она разойдется, как горячие пирожки. Я закончу, что продолжать. Так что-то другое придумать, лол. С другим персонажем, но что-то подобное. О, рыба.
What strange metal Bielorybitsa, clearly designed to swim through the air. I was amazed. And there was more. Beneath the fins, I spotted the apertures of hoses and was reminded of the time Auntie Agrafina devised a contraption to water all of her copious algae beds simultaneously with one flush of the toilet by a system of pipes and valves that ran throughout her house. Можно так сказать, in a manner of speaking, yes. Her algae were most irrigated, although her neighbor Victor was washing his trousers in the sink at the time and was bruised quite severely about the face and body. But these were no ordinary flying metal fish. They were designed to expel air, fresh air, and push back the polluted clouds.
Ире понравилась токсичная атмосфера игры. Здесь нету токсичной атмосферы. И игра очень милая.
There is, of course, a fine tradition of looking to nature to solve problems of a scientific or military persuasion. Yes, as you well know. My nephew, Sergei... Yes, the very same. Poor lad with his dermatological eruptions. Well, Sergei was stationed recently at Kazachya Bukhta, where dolphins... dolphins? Were being trained as brilliant aquatic agents of socialism. Why not then be inspired by marine life? Why, there is a fish, I have heard, that can shoot jets of water from beneath the surface to knock its prey off little tiny twigs and into its mouth. If you were to tell the average mushroom sheriff that a dog would orbit the Earth, I suspect you would receive a similarly sneering response. No, that is because you are a small, hairy hound of uncertain parentage. I, on the other hand, am a cosmonaut, the product of many months of training, and I realized the answer to pollution was here all along. The Perunians, tragically, had simply never had time to finish their fleet. If only I could find a working, flying fish. If only. If only. Yes. If only.
Нет токсичной атмосферы, тем временем с гигантского экрана бежит зеленая жижа. Это вы все? Открывали в своих кабинках? Вот оно и течет.
It made perfect sense, of course. The poisonous Duchatas that engulfed Barun was like a nasty cold. And you know what to do with a cold to rid yourself of it. You may not get colds, but nor can you operate pea-shelling machinery. So, don't get ideas above your station. We humans, on the other hand, may produce up to 16 million perfectly unshelled peas in an average shift. But we are martyrs to our sinuses. But to clear them, aha! These are remedies we Russians have been perfecting over the long centuries of harsh winters. Onions. A quick snifter of onion oil will clear your head faster than a Pragviev can clear a hypothetical minefield. Yes, if I could find a functional fish, I would become that onion.
Мы в небеса улетели, чат, все ГГВП. Доигрались. О, это что, загадка? Ваш стример гений. Просто гений, чат. Цените это. Загадку решила за 0,1 секунды. Изи. Ой, больно. Понятно, уже проходила без стрима, конечно.
I was close. I could feel it. Yes, yes, the working fish, the rybka. I could feel it.
The rybka.
Of Perun, and my noxious pursuer had renewed its chase with a terrible vigor.
The рыбка. Мы в школе так говорили. The окно. А здесь the рыбка. То есть ничего не поменялось? Ничегошеньки.
Not far now. I just had to keep going, keep pushing. It's almost as if you knew, Pavel. Uncanny. Обалдеть.
Обалдеть!
There she was. A beautiful sight. Her scales shimmering in the sunlight, her fins poised for action, her onion cannons primed for a great aerial conflict unseen in the annals of human endeavor. And you are just jealous it was a bigger flying machine than yours. No, Peleus Powell. It was time for science to fight back. Yes, my hairy compatriot. Поехали! Onwards to victory!
А, серьезно? Лол. Мне интересно, а как он видит, куда лететь, если у нее глаза по бокам? Ну, я так чисто спросить, конечно. Вы не думаете, я не токсичу. Мне просто интересно. Типа, если у рыбы глаза пополам, то как бы как он видит, куда плыть. А что, надо тебе в рот залетать, да? Надо было в рот стрелять, лол. Ну, они же как-то плавают. Ну, блин. Они умные, получается. Если они не видят, куда плавать, но плавают. Владение было лицо из песка? А, да? Это ваше воплощение сейчас, чтобы вы понимали. Знаете, как вы выглядите? Мы не видим, ты нас закрыла. Ну, чтобы вы не боялись, я закрыла. А то еще испугаетесь. Что мы потом будем с вами делать?
A miracle! I found myself swooping through beautiful clear skies, the strange interior sunlight gleaming on the sides of my fishy vessel. I heard birds clear their little throats and begin their wondrous gvalt, the wind gently humming on the fins. And then, all of a sudden, under it all, well, you see, in my hurry, it didn't even occur to me to check how much fuel was carried in the strange craft. With a horrible splutter, the engines choked and died. And suddenly we were plummeting downwards towards our doom.
Сабы ушли
I
отдыхать.
did not. A simple mistake that many have made. Why, my Aunt Agrafina met her untimely demise being late for a fungal sculpting seminar and making exactly the same error. Only, unfortunately, it left her stranded in sub-zero temperatures just outside Pravachitsinsk. She wasn't found until 18 years after her own funeral, but was perfectly preserved. Remarkable, really. It is beside the point, yes. So, there I was. My fabulous ship had become a terrible prison. I was hurtling to my almost certain death. My triumph turned to tragedy. But then... Well, you know what happened next. Even so, moi magnati drug, that is a story for another time. A most extraordinary story, of course, filled with dangers and wonders, and canals, and invasions, and strange doorways to other worlds. But perhaps too long a story for now.
Это намек на продолжение,
Yes,
что
my
ли?
canine tavarish. Time for soup. Auntie Agrafina's famous borscht.
Time to soup.
Coming?
Yeah!
You know, I think you really did have the happier time in Peru. The benefits of being a suitcase-sized dog in a little space machine, perhaps. Ah, yes, the correct term is indeed capsule, as I told the general once. Why, a letter just the other week. He's thinking of retiring, he says. Yes, and moving to Bashkiria to nurture bees. Bees? Surprised me too. I thought if animal husbandry was to be his passion, it would be a large, manly animal like elk, or bears, or a caban. Perhaps the bees
Кабанус!
are particularly militaristic. Or stingy, yes. Did you want bread with your soup? In which case, there's half a tin of old beef you could also finish. Somewhat gray, but I'm sure it won't taste.
Сказал пчел, да, он сказал пчел.
Yes, my four-legged associate. Now, did I ever tell you the story of when Uncle Rablien got his stub ensnared in the seat of a wicker chair in the finest fish restaurant in the whole of Tolyatsy?
Блин. Ему еще так много... Может, это нереально сделать продолжение? Кайфовая игра. Понял, что нельзя иметь детей, чисто ментально не выдержу учить с ними уроки? Так не учи с ними уроки, пусть сами учат. Чел. Расти их самостоятельными и независимыми. Что, глупый? Озвучка сделала эту игру серьезная.